Audi started playing football when he was really young, and he was instantly great. And he landed at Cummins High School, where he led his team to state championships. He got a championship ring, and I think it was his junior year that he ended up tearing his ACL. And so that kind of changed a little bit of the course of his career. But by then, he was highly recruited by many of the top schools in the nation: Tennessee, Arkansas, LSU, North Carolina State. However, because of his injury and grades, he ended up going to Lackawanna in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is a JUCO. So he played up in Lackawanna for 2 years and then transferred to Winston-Salem State.
Audi was known to his family and friends to be a very charismatic and positive guy. He seemed to also be a family man who really cared about his girlfriend and his child.
His son, my grandson, Tristan, he was born early, so he was a preemie, and he spent 62 days in the NICU in Greensboro. And so I believe that because of the treatment and care that he needed after being born, they decided to move to Greensboro because it would be closer for them to go back and forth to his appointments. During that time that he was in the NICU, my son stayed with him every single day. He has a daughter named Nyla. She is a year younger than Tristan. Yeah, she lives in the area as well. He passed away in November 2020, November 10th. November 9th was his birthday, his 30th birthday. And he had called me earlier that morning. We spoke on the phone. He was excited, and, I was kind of chastising him about, some things, reading his Bible, and he didn't want to hear about it. He was like, "Mama, who's Judah? It's my birthday. I don't want to talk about that." And so we spoke on the phone, and I had him some balloons delivered and a cake and edible arrangement, just build him up for his birthday because I couldn't be here. And he called me, and he had the balloons and everything in the car with him. And he said, "I'm taking my stuff with me." And, everybody I talked to said when he came around to see them that night, he had all his stuff with him. And so when he was coming home that night, he actually had his balloons in his hand as he was walking up the stairs. Yeah.
So on November 10th of 2020, Greensboro police responded out to the area of 802 Folly Court. And the reason for their response was numerous 911 calls that there were gunshots fired in the area. When they arrived on scene, they found Audi Smith lying on the front steps of 802 Folly Court, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. And they began to check and tend to his injuries and realized shortly thereafter that he was deceased.
I would have to say he's seen probably about 10 people that night, 10 different houses that he had been to. And he headed back home to finish celebrating with his girlfriend and son. And on his way home, as he was getting out the car, walking up the steps, someone came up behind him and shot him.
To solve this case, we really need someone to come forward that has information about what happened that night. Maybe someone who was there and saw what happened, or people who know Audi and are aware of some of the things that were going on that night.
I think the most disappointing part for me has been the lack of willingness of the community to come forward with information, because I feel like there are people out there who know what happened, people who know, who did this, and they're unwilling to speak up. And although I love the t-shirts and the candles and the tattoos, and all the ways that people honor him, it's beautiful. But love is a verb, it's action. And you can't say I love this person and he's my brother, and then not be willing to come forth and make sure that his justice is served for him.
To the general public, I would say that we need, we need the public's help. We can't do this without the citizens of Greensboro helping us. Witnesses are a really key part of solving our cases. Forensic evidence is great, but witnesses really help bring things together and turn forensic evidence into a story that we can tell that helps people understand why this happened to someone and helps us find the person who did it. Even though it has been a period of time it's not forgotten. It's a case that's still active and that is still being investigated on a regular basis when information does come in.
The loss of a child is traumatic no matter how it happens, whether you lose a child of natural causes or an illness or a car accident. It's traumatic. But I think when you lose a child to homicide, it puts an extra layer on it that is much more difficult to start the healing process from, because the person is still out there. The person is still walking around, in my case, free. And, that person is able to, if he has children, spend birthdays with his children, Christmases with his family, where we don't have, our son anymore.
Anyone who has information about Audi's case could call the police department directly if they're comfortable doing so, and come sit down and meet with me and share that information. I'll be happy to take information from anybody that has it. And for anybody out there who knows about what happened to Audi and they're not comfortable meeting with me or maybe want to be anonymous, they can always contact Crime Stoppers. That is an easy way to share information without feeling like you're risking your own safety.
To those of you who knew Audi as a person, who loved him, I would encourage you, if you do know something, say something. Let's show Audi how much we really loved him and ensure that he gets justice. His son says, "Granny, I miss my dad. I don't want him to be an angel," because, we tell him he's still here with you. He's just an angel in heaven, which is heartbreaking. But when people make these choices and they decide to play God and determine when someone's life should end, they don't realize that they're just ending the life of that individual, but everyone that he touches.